Welcome to another episode of Pels in a Blender. It's your boy Davis coming to y'all on this Monday night, man, giving you one of these PM editions of Pels in a Blender. It's been a little hectic week, but I figured we go ahead and get one of these done for it's the final week of the preseason, technically the final week of what's considered the off season until the regular season pick up next week on the 22nd when we have, when we travel to Memphis. When I say we, the Pels travel to Memphis, kick the season off, try and get a win on the road. So, man, it's been a eventful week in my opinion. It's been a very eventful week. It's been a lot of stuff going on, and kind of just want to touch base on all of that. We got the two games coming up. The preseason game against Houston in Birmingham, for those that don't know. I think that's gonna be so. Kind of what I want to do with this episode is just give a little idea of what I'm expecting and what I think the last two preseason games mean, and then we'll kind of go into this Jordan Poole stuff because man, the Jordan Poole thing is kind of crazy to be honest. Like I didn't think a player like Jordan Poole, in my opinion, that's what I'm attributing a lot of this to. Like Jordan Poole would be so disrespected. I mean, bluntly, throughout the league. But we'll excuse me, we'll get into that. But man, so tomorrow, tomorrow we got the Pels back playing. Obviously, it's the first competition against an actual NBA team, which is pretty good because obviously that's the competition they're gonna be playing. So we saw him play two games against the Australian teams and all of that, but it's kind of hard to judge. We liked what we saw. We saw some positive signs from game one to game two. And Z looked good. Trey looked good. Trey didn't play. Did Trey play in the no? Trey didn't play in the second game. Herb didn't play in either games. So coming into game three, which is really like the tune-up game for most of the NBA teams. If you notice, man, you see, most of the teams that do have that are playing their stars at least. Like Wemby's playing 20 to 25 minutes, and they all are trying to be very productive in like the first halves of these games and stuff like that. So what I'm hoping for our team when we take on the Rockets have played a couple games. I'm not sure who the Rockets are gonna play. They've dealt with some injuries, but they do have some young players. They need to get some rhythm. Kevin Durant just got that. You've seen him play a little bit. So not really sure who the Rockets necessarily are gonna put on the floor, but that doesn't matter. With what it is we're trying to do, no matter who they put on the floor, this is going to be your first time against NBA competition, a team that, even if you look at the depth that the Rockets have, they look to be a competitive team. You want to have a good showing against that particular team. Not saying that you have to win. A win is always nice, don't get me wrong. You've been seeing some of these preseason games going into overtime and a lot of highlights and stuff. So, like, all of that's good and fine. But what I'm really looking for is that starting five of those main 6 to 8 rotation players look pretty good in that game, because that's gonna really be the test, in my opinion, of what it is our team is gonna look like in the season. And like obviously you can grow from this. It's not like the end all be all. It's literally still just a preseason game. We've had preseasons where the Pelicans went undefeated and then started the season off and maybe got off to some slow starts. We're notoriously bad for getting, we're known for getting off to pretty slow starts. So that's the win and the loss don't necessarily matter. You just want to establish what it is, your culture that you're trying to build, against a team that their culture is to play intense, play aggressive, play physical. You want to match that intensity and not, get pushed around. It don't matter who's on the floor, whether your second unit is on the floor, your starters, anything like that. That's what you want to see from a collective. Now, individually, individually, I need to see Zion, Trey, and Poole. And it's not to say that they need to go for like stellar numbers. Again, I think they're only gonna play like maybe 20 to 25 minutes. Willie Green has been saying, we're gonna give them, a little bit more run. But and again, I think you've been seeing the levels of play among some of the players. Like Cade Cunningham's been looking awesome. KD looked awesome when he played. Like a lot of the stars that are playing in these games look fantastic. I need Zion, Trey, and Poole specifically, all three of them, to look fantastic in this run. I don't care that it's against the Rockets. I don't want to see you guys struggle offensively. You know what I mean? And it's not to say that you have like all three of them got to have like 28 or 30. It's not like that. I just need it to look a certain kind of way. And that's basically what I'm looking at. I like to see them play through Z. I like to see if you get like an Amen Thompson and Trey Murphy matchup, Trey be able to handle a defender like Amen Thompson and not look like some of the times we've seen in the past. Not saying not necessarily that particular matchup, but we want to see him be able to handle some of the more elite defenders in the league and continue to look like what we expect Trey Murphy to look like. So that's pretty much for the first game. Again, it's gonna be in Birmingham, so like they'll have a pretty good crowd, but it's still not the same as playing in the Blender, Smoothie King, or nothing like that. So is the first time we will get a chance to actually cheer on the team and the team be able to, kind of see what the energy is going to be like is the first game against San Antonio. So, it's still cool, but it ain't quite the same. And then the last game that they have is going to be against Orlando, and that one's going to be a little tricky to judge. I think it depends on how they play against Houston, what happens, but you still want to see some progression from each game because those are the only two games you have against quality NBA teams that play a similar way that you struggled against. So I think they need to take full advantage of that before we go into the season against Memphis, who honestly is also going to play that type of that style necessarily. Even though, Jaren Jackson might be there, Desmond Bane is gone. That's still a physical team that feel like they probably could bully you. So you need to use these games to get yourself ready to go in there and do that. But be honest, I think we're gonna be pleasantly surprised with how the team performs against Houston for sure. I think they're gonna come out excited. Obviously, it's like first time against an NBA team. You like people still talking crazy about the team and whatnot, and we'll touch on that. Pause, like for a little bit. I don't really want to put too much energy into it because it's almost like just a constant thing over and over and over. Like everybody's just, the Pelicans, that. And obviously we already know the only thing that's gonna change that is getting out on the floor and playing. So like, and you can't do that in preseason anyway. Hypothetically, let's say the preseason team come out and they beat the fuck out of excuse my language, but they beat the brakes off of, out of Houston and Orlando. People still gonna be like, so like, even if you look good, it's preseason. It don't count. Let's see you do it in the season. Let's get out of preseason healthy. Let's work on these good habits that they keep talking about, and let's build on that and kind of go from there. So that's pretty much all with preseason with both teams. If I also want to see if they're implementing some defensive schemes early, or are they still just trying to lock in like their core defensive principles. And if it look any different now that CJ is gone and Brandon is gone, you don't really know who the starting five is going to be. So that's another thing I'm wondering, like, what defensively, how are they going to play against an NBA team? Is Z going to be aggressive on the boards? Like in that second game, he was ultra aggressive, playing with a lot of energy. Are we going to see that from jump? to start the season. So I'm just kind of interested to see how, now that they're taking the step up in competition, or like how they're gonna be locked in for this particular game. And again, it's levels to this, man, because this is preseason. There's another level when the regular season starts. Like, so just I just kind of want to see what intensity level they're playing at. How are they meshing, how are they gelling, and then kind of go from there. So we'll finish that this week. So man, speaking of like the weeks and all of that, bro. Shout out to the Pels media team, who's ever putting out these videos, and finally they giving you the videos with audio, so you can and so previously when they used to put out videos, at least to my recollection, they never used to put out clips of like the players talking, like what they're actually saying. You just would see the highlights, they playing like, and you only take that with a grain of salt, you know what I mean, because it is practice. It's good, you want to see them, getting working and stuff like that. um but at the same time, it's like you don't really, there's a lot of context missing with some of those videos. What I do like, man, that they're doing is you getting the videos. One, it's extended film of the full court scrimmage sessions to a degree. And then you've also seen like on two separate occasions they've shown Willie actually speaking and coaching up the team. And when you listen to Willie in his interviews, bro, and I might have to do another video, words have meaning, because like Willie in his interview seemed like he just recently said, he's learning a lot from Joe Dumars about, coaching and all of that. And I'm gonna be honest, bro, like it to me, it's like Willie seems like the approach he's taking with the team, it feels very different than previous approaches that he's taken, or at least it seems like he's taken. Like we don't know for sure. You're not really in the building like that. You kind of just speculating, people that have sources, but it seems like he's more direct. He's more intense. Like the intensity feels up for everybody in the building right now. Like holding each player accountable and stuff. Like you could just hear, for him, for example, for him to say, look, we need Zion to be able to rebound. Like we need his rebounding to be better. And it's not that they haven't talked about this previously, but for Willie to like in the interview be like, yeah, no, we need him to do it, like, putting it on his shoulders, the way that I just feel like we haven't been doing that in previous seasons, man. And Zion typically responds to that. Like, and you can tell that it's the team holding each other accountable. You saw early in the like one of the earlier practice videos they released, you saw Jose talking to Zion, like, man, you see when the energy picked up, that was you who started that. We go as far as you gonna take us. Like everybody is kind of reinforcing. You see each player step up and have leadership moments. And to be honest, that's really what it is. Like these dudes are taking accountability for the season, and I think the Pelicans are doing a really good job of showing that, like in a way that I feel like we haven't seen before, to where you have a better idea of the plan and what it is they're trying to accomplish. So like example, everybody's been like, they haven't put a win-loss on. Like Joe Dumars came out and said, nah, I don't have expectations like a win-loss for the season and stuff. I just know we're gonna compete, we're gonna play hard, and then we're gonna see where the chips fall, right? You hear the players talking about playoffs and stuff like that, and all of them are talking about, man, we got our individual goals, but we working for something. And you see them holding each other accountable, like verbally on the floor in workouts. Like is man, it's really exciting to see if you follow this team, right? Like a lot of us that's Pels fans really follow this team. So it's you can tell the energy is very different. I'm sick of people talking about the vibes and stuff like that, but like it's a different, the standard has clearly been set, right? And it's one of those things that I think when they take the floor tomorrow against Houston, that's when you're gonna really see it like it start to bear fruit, and it starts to show in a way to where you be like, okay, going into the regular season, you already hear people like they still kind of shitting on our team, or they picking us, 14th in the West, and everybody wants to trade for our players, and what's gonna happen when they blow it up and all. Like, you hear all of that, but at the same time, like, you see some people kind of trying to how do you phrase it, like when they kind of trying to cover themselves and be like, well, I think they're gonna be terrible, but man, if Zion, the way Zion looks, if he plays 75 games, they got some talent. Like, you start to hear people try to like CYA, you know what I mean? Because it wouldn't be overly surprising with the amount of talent on the team if we were successful, right? So like the stuff that's kind of going on is really like backhand shade, in my opinion. And like, I don't want to continue to keep getting into it, but like, to kind of transition into that, I was trying to figure out like how did we get to that point, right? So you had like the last season, we obviously had 21 wins, but clearly everybody was hurt. Like, it wasn't just Zion being hurt, everybody was hurt. Okay. So did Brandon, who was notorious for being hurt and missing games, and CJ obviously played, but CJ was, I'm like, man, did Brandon and CJ carry that much weight to where, like, now that they're gone and Trey Murphy is moving into that spot and Jordan Poole is moving in the CJ spot, that, like, if you look at it talent for talent, it's kind of equivalent, but people are still like throwing the team under the bus. There's no way they could be good, and I don't even have them competing for the play-in and all of that. So I'm sitting there trying to think. I'm like, man, everybody done seen Zion look like it. First off, we've never seen this version of Zion. That's first, right? And even the out of shape Zion at times looked like a damn top 10 player in the league at times. So you can't say it's because of Zion. Like, you can to a degree, but the league is like, okay, if Zion is healthy and he plays 70 games, you dig? Whoa, what's good, bro? Appreciate you for tapping in. You already know, like, if Zion plays 70, like 65, 70 games, like, the team ain't gonna be that bad. Like, everybody already knows that. So that can't be why they're constantly, picking us to finish 14th. Like, Zion, if they had to line it up right now, Zion would probably be one of the top 7 or 8 players in the West, in my opinion. So there's no way that he finishes that low. So then again, so is it Trey Murphy? What's your prediction for my prediction for the game tomorrow? To be honest, bro, I'll say I don't know, because I don't know what Houston's plan is. But and I don't want to just be a homer and be like we win. But to be honest, I think in Birmingham, the game is in Birmingham. I think they're gonna come out and want to give like a good showing to those fans. I think you're gonna get Z playing, like, you're gonna get most of the starters playing like some of the third, somewhere around 20 to 25 minutes. Even if they play just the first half, which I think they're gonna play a little bit longer than that, because this might be one of the last times you see them. I think they actually come out and try to get the win in this one, as opposed to what they might do against Orlando in Orlando. So, you know what? If I had the bet, I would say that they win this one, because the Rockets, I don't know what the Rockets plan on doing as far as their roster, and this is our essentially like our tune-up game. So if I had to pick, I think we're gonna get this dub. But honestly, the win or loss don't matter. They just gotta look a certain type of way. Like, you can't come out and just look, first off, not this early in the season, just look completely, god awful. Like, your better players need to play well. Yeah, he did say in the interview that they was gonna play more minutes. So like example, the first two games, I think Z played somewhere between like 15 to 20 minutes. And in this game, I think you could see them playing somewhere like 20 to 25, something like that. Like they damn sure ain't getting close to like 30 minutes a game or nothing like that. They as in Zion, etc. Yeah, like the starters, Z, Trey, all of them, and see how they feel for the last game. Yeah, I can see that. I think they're gonna play. I think they're gonna play like 20 to 25. And what I think they mean by see for the like if they come out and don't look good, right? The starters don't look good, like they need more reps, then their ass is gonna be playing in the Orlando game. But if they come out, handle business, look solid, you know what I mean? Look like they catching on to the offense, the defense is good. Not saying that you just gonna destroy Houston or nothing like that, but if it looked like what it is they want to see, then I don't think you'll see them too much in the fourth game as opposed to the third game where I think they actually gonna get some pretty good run. You know what I mean? Because you don't want risk. Like if they do well in the third game and then like get out healthy and nothing is wrong, you're not gonna risk them in the fourth game with the season around. You're gonna let your young players and your two ways and all of them like kind of close it out and try to try and get some rhythm and whatnot, kind of see what you got before you start making some decisions on the roster and whatnot. So I think tomorrow's game is the one that matters more than anything as far as like what we see and whatnot. A Herb and Trey playing. I would imagine so. Herb was nursing the ankle injury, so they haven't really made a decision. And he had the hand wrap on while he was shooting. So in the practices, he took that off and he's been running. I would imagine that like because Willie in his interviews is constantly saying he wants to get a look at everybody. He wants to get a look. I don't think he's decided on the starting lineups yet or anything like that. I think he wants to see what the team looks like with most of the players that's going to be playing to get an idea of the rotation. So I would be surprised if your starting lineup isn't like Z, Trey, Herb, Poole, Loon, and then you get Missy, Sadiq, Fears, Carlo gonna get some minutes, Hawkins, Jose. Like I think all hands for the most part gonna be on deck, and those dudes gonna play. The first half is probably gonna look like a regular first half, and then they might play a little bit to start the third, and then that's probably gonna be kind of when they shut it down. But I'm anxious to see Herb because Herb and Willie don't never know who's starting. Joe gonna figure it out for him. To be honest, man, I think I'm giving Willie a little bit of slack on this one because the team is completely new. The one thing we do know is we know four of the starters for sure. Poole, Trey, Herb, Z. And like they're trying to figure out the five. So like Missy is look good. Like I actually wouldn't be surprised if they start Missy in this particular game. Like if they start Missy in this particular game, but I don't know who I would start at the five, to be honest. I wouldn't do some like I heard somebody saying, they should switch to five every game depending on the matchup. I ain't doing that because you need to build continuity with, the entire roster. So like I understand that, but I think what they're gonna do is they probably, because Looney started the first two games, you might get Missy starting this one or the last two games, and then kind of use that to get an idea of how the team look. I think that's what they do going into the season. Looney gonna start, and then Missy gonna get most of the minutes. Like I could see a world where Looney plays, because you still got to factor in Carlo, and then when Queen come back, like that's gonna be your big rotation. So I could see Looney starting and playing, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes a game, something like that. And then Missy, for the most part, like specifically at the five, like covering the rest of those minutes. and possibly closing games. I think who's closing the game is going to depend on like how the game is flowing. Like if you in a rhythm and you look and you doing fine, cool. I don't think nobody other than obviously the four are gonna be like kind of be set in who's closing games. But I think that's how it goes. Like Looney gonna start, then Missy's gonna play. But for the preseason, I wouldn't be surprised if Missy start these two so they can see what Missy look like with that start lineup. Carlo Magno, what you think of him? I think Carlo's gonna be a solid rotational player. I think he's athletic, gonna brings a lot of bring some versatility to the team. If he can consistently shoot, it's gonna open up the offense a little bit for that second unit. But I think he's gonna be a good addition. Like when he played last year, he played well. You just didn't get a lot of. I think they did Carlo a disservice, to be honest. Like I don't think you needed to sign Daniel Tice at all. You could have just let Carlo and Missy have those minutes. Like you came in with no plan anyway. Everybody was hurt. You might as well just said fuck it from day one and just let them go run it. But I think Carlo, like if you see what the second unit could look like with Fears, Hawkins, Carlo, Sadiq Bey, like those dudes gonna have to get out and run. And Carlo, like being as athletic as he is, if you look at all of the highlights, like if you watching the clips they keep putting out, shout out to again the Pels media team, man. Carlo been getting blocks, Carlo getting dunks, like Carlo running the floor. They didn't show Carlo hitting some jumpers and whatnot. So I think Carlo, not that Carlo would be like a dark horse for like a bench MVP, if that makes sense. Like Carlo is one of those players that can bring something to the team that like not many players on the team can be able to bring because of their skill set. So I think Carlo's gonna have an opportunity. He's gonna have an opportunity at least to get on the floor and show what he could do. But to kind of transition, man, we was talking about how everybody's kind of picking on, well, not picking on, but like really shitting on the Pels as far as where they picking them in the rankings. And again, we know all of that, so I'm not really here to get into it. But I was trying to figure out why. And bruh, like really, what it's coming down to is I think the league don't have the appropriate respect for Jordan Poole's game. I don't know why. Like I really have no idea why. Because Jordan Poole, before he left Golden State, people forget, man, this dude was literally like the heir apparent to Steph Curry. Like Golden State they paid him the money. They were fine. They were on it. Like if Draymond don't punch the dude in the face, like, you know what I mean? Like he can't shake that. Well, I think he's shaking it now. But if that moment don't ever happen, like Jordan Poole's reputation amongst the league is completely different. This I completely agree with, and I see y'all with the Sadiq Bey. We gonna jump in. We gonna discuss that in a second. I just kind of want to get this Jordan Poole thought of. Like, bro, if Jordan Poole never leaves Golden State, right? Never leaves Golden State. I'm not saying that he's an all-star level player, nothing like that. But you saw how they was talking about Wiggins before Wiggins had, he had the situation off the court. But man, they had them went and paid Wiggins, and Wiggins had them refound his groove and all this and that. Bruh, Jordan Poole was looked at when Jordan Poole first left Golden State. They was like, man, this dude about to average 30. He gonna be this and he gonna be a highlight show and all of that. And now all of a sudden, whoa, what's good, bro? Appreciate you for tapping in. So now he goes to Washington, I don't want to say one of the worst overall organizations, but like you go to, yeah, man, that shit was super whack. That shit was super whack. And be honest, if you listen to people from Golden State, that boy was envious, man. Jordan Poole that got the bread. Jordan Poole that got the bread, and at the time, Draymond wasn't paid. So he was hating on him. We just came off the chip. I'm looking like a hero. I just got the bag. You mad about your money, and you can't get no buckets. You old. You know what I'm saying? Like Clay was in his feelings too. Clay was in his feelings too. You know what I'm saying? So like you kind of got to give Jordan Poole a little pass for what happened. But that was Draymond, and that's why he constantly be like, man, that shit was whack. But like he the stain on Poole's name for that, in my opinion, is like still amongst the league. Like it didn't hurt his reputation. So exactly, Gil had already if you watch the Gil Arenas, he had already let him know what happened. So like after that, he goes to Washington. Dog, Washington ain't got shot up. Washington don't count. That's graveyard. Facts, right? So he goes to Washington. No real system, no nothing. And, again, Jordan Poole was still a young player, man, having to mature. And I imagine that the Washington experience helped him mature into the player you see now. And again, even in Washington, they all speak highly about Jordan Poole. Man, I don't know how all those young players, I don't know how I was going to prepare for games. Like, he kept us, united. He kept us focused. He kept us working. He, like, all great things that they said about Jordan Poole. But the only thing you hear is when they come, like, you don't get no credit for getting the guy who averaged, like, at the end of the day, he averaged 20, what did he average? 24-3 and shot, I think he shot 38% or almost 40% on 9 threes a game. Like, that's a really good player, a young player, dynamic. Like, the handle is one of the best like the ISO game is one of the best ISO games in the league. We don't get no credit for that, right? You don't get no even potential boost. Everybody's talking about, we don't know how we feel about Jordan Poole. That shit whack. And I think that's the thing that's gonna bite people. That's really gonna bite people about when the game start. And hold on, go back to this comment. Let them sleep on us. If you snooze, you lose. Absolutely. Because what's gonna happen is when Jordan Poole finally back in a winning situation, right? Finally back in a winning situation, get the rolling and looking like the Jordan Poole that they remember, it's gonna be like, oh wait, this team is extremely talented. They got a lot of shooting, they got a lot of scoring, they got a lot of dynamic players. They can play a lot of different ways, right? You'll start seeing all of that, and that's the part that's just kind of like, damn, bro. Like, they trade him to Washington. If you trade damn near anybody to Washington under those circumstances, a young player, I mean, like, they not gonna succeed. They like even some great players. You see Steph Curry, like that team just last season, right? Just last season, they had to trade for Jimmy Butler for them to right the ship. And Steph, an all-time great player. What the hell Poole gonna do in Washington? I'm just saying. Like, if we trade Steph Curry to Washington right now, what are they? So I just think I don't think they're giving the dude enough credit for the talent that he is and the impact that he can have on this particular team. So again, fuck him. At the end of the day, man, like I'm all the way 1000% in on our squad. So like the JP hate, bro, that shit whack. And I'm hoping, what I'm hoping is not that he come out and like, because each one of our players got the chip on their shoulder for sure. Like, we already know that. But I hope he don't come out like trying to prove it, like what he did when he went to, I think when he went to Washington, he was trying a little too hard. Like here, I think because they're trying to be competitive, you just could play your game. And him playing his game is good enough because he's a really good player. Man, one of the last things I kind of want to discuss, bro, is I don't know if y'all peeped it, but did y'all see the ESPN top trios list, like the top the big 3 tiers? Dog, absolutely, because he a Pel. Yeah, facts. Like the second you become a Pelican, you immediately like lose a little bit of credibility. And I don't know if that's good or bad. People don't like Joe Dumars. I don't know if they like Willie Green, but just like I said it, man, like we good under those circumstances. Like we good under those circumstances. So I speaking of, like, because of your Pell, we'll talk about like our Pell's big three. So who I guess we would consider the big three now is like similar to what it was before. Before it used to be Z, BI, and CJ. And in this case, I think it's Z, Trey, and Poole. Currently, at least until, well, not until, but like I think that's pretty much what it is. So like ESPN put out a list. They top 3 tiers or whatever, and I gotta read this. So OKC, they trio number 1. Okay, cool. Like, respect, y'all won the championship. They've been the number 1 seed. All right, cool. Then it say Denver. I'm like, is Denver trio really that great, or is it just Joker the best player? Like, I'm not saying Jamal Murray not nice and Aaron Gordon not okay, but you gonna say they a top 3 trio in the league? I don't know if I go that far. I would say Joker amazing. Like, you get extra points for that. Then you got Cleveland, the Knicks. I'm gonna skip down this. I'm not gonna read all of this because they got it listed in tiers, right? So they say our trio of Poole, Z, and Trey are behind, like we're in tier 9 with the Hornets. That's behind the Bulls. I didn't even know the Bulls had a trio. Miami Heat. I didn't know the Heat had a trio. Who's the Heat trio? Like who? Bam, Tyler, and who? Norm? We ain't better than Z and Trey, not better than Bam and Tyler? Like, man, come on, dog. Who is the Bulls trio? Then you have the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis don't even have a trio right now. Like, it's Ja and where one of them, where got a lot to do. I don't even know if we're gonna be starting. Most likely, yes. But I'm just saying, like, where ain't proved nothing to where we would be considering them to be all of that. Like, he still got to show it in the season. You think we're better than Poole? Because if you line it up, you're gonna say Bam versus Z. In my opinion, give me Bam. Give me Z. Give me Z. Hero versus Poole. Hero versus Trey. Hero versus Trey. Like, I guess Heroes accomplished a good little bit, but based off skill sets and stuff, you could say they're probably a wash, or maybe you take Trey, but you look at Trey's upside. And then Poole versus Webb, man, like, there's different kind of players. Don't get me wrong, but give me Poole, the guy who I saw produce in the playoffs and stuff. Yeah, bro, ESPN is really just trying to figure out, like, they just trying to like get stuff done to the season start. So they just throwing stuff out there. So again, above us, they got the Dallas Mavericks. Okay, so who's in the Dallas Mavericks trio? Because Kyrie technically not there. Cooper's a rookie, and you got AD. So other than, like, who? Clay, Cooper, and AD. Is Clay better than Clay? Wasn't better than Poole back then. Like, Clay wasn't better than Poole. He damn sure ain't better than Trey. Cooper Flag right now not better than Trey Murphy. So, like, even if you're going to get the Anthony Davis over Zion, which is arguable, but, like, even if you get that one, the other two, that's us all day. So, like, again, Sacramento. So, I guess you taking Sabonis, DeRozan, and Levine over Z, Trey, and Poole. If you're going to look at accomplishments, maybe not play on the court, because we saw, like, you saw what they looked like in Chicago. And I don't like for people to use that example, but even last season, you saw them last season when they put the band back together. They still weren't good. We have proof of concept that Z and Trey, when they play extended minutes as the main two people, they work. They win, they're successful. They work. And this is a better version of those two players. And I personally think you're going to get more from Poole than what you got out of CJ, respectfully. No, it's literally that simple. This version of Z that we have now is like, this version of Z has potential, like legit MVP potential. Like he was fat, and when he was playing, looked like one of the best players in the league. Like if he can continue to build off of like just last season when they saw the dude playing last season when he played, he only played the 30 games. Though in the 30 games, he still looked like one of the best players in the league. That's why everybody, like people talk about they wouldn't want, man, they just trying to talk us into giving the dude away, giving him away for cheap, right? The dude, one of the most dominant players in the league, in my opinion. So like, when I just look at the way, and again, you have to show it and you have to prove it for all of this to go away. Shout out to y'all. Obviously, they gotta stay healthy. It's literally just that simple. You play well and then go away. But this it's just, man, it's just interesting. It's just interesting. I look at it honestly, it's just more fuel. Every time they put something out, Trey Murphy and already said it. Hey, we keeping everything. We keeping everything. Like everything anybody done said, we loading up, getting ready. The work is being put in. And we already know the work is being put in. So last thing real quick about Poole, they put the video out today about him and it was the clip. Hold on, matter of fact, let me pull it up. Real quick for those who might not have seen it, showing some of his leadership, and some of those things that he learned. I don't even want to say learn, but I'll say some of the things that he took from his time. And I think he got a combination of what happened in Golden State and his experience in Washington has manifested in what it is that we see in Jordan Poole right now. So hold on for a second. Let me get this ready and we'll play this real quick and then kind of get y'all out of here, man. It's a Monday night. Kids got school and kids got school tomorrow and all kind of stuff. So hold on. Let me throw that up there.
Whenever we're not going against each other, we're competitive. 3-0, 5-0, we gotta.
I don't know if y'all can hear that.
That's what we do. All of our tightening up, our plays, our chemistry. Obviously, we all competitive. Yeah. That's why when we get on the court and we bump, we're gonna go hard, we're gonna foul. But whenever it's just zero defense, or we're gonna have against the coaches, that's when we gotta be the sharpest. It's like we gotta turn on to. It's serious now. We got a game in 10 days, 9 days. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to really start sharpening that. So when the season comes, we can hit the ground running.
All right. So let's narrate real quick. Essentially, you said when you're going through practice and you doing your drills, right? You're doing your 4-on-none, your 3-on-none, those drills, that's what people typically, and shout out to where's Sip, man? Coach Sip made a really good point. And what he says, he's like, JP is talking about 3-on-0, 4-on-0, 5-on-0. He's saying, and Sip, people don't know, is a player development coach, one of the best ones out of the city. Shout out to him. He got his business going. I think they're in Atlanta right now, but great guy, got an eye for the game, grew up around everything. Music to my ears, because most players use the non-competitive segments of practice as a rest period and the energy dies. He said he loved it. So basically what he's saying, and this is the part that's exactly sharpening that IQ. This is not something that, and I'm not saying that I'm not saying that like we didn't have players like CJ possibly that wasn't you know what I mean, that didn't have this kind of mindset or whatever. But I'm gonna just be honest, man, when these dudes 22 at the time, 23, like Trey trying to get paid, like I'm trying to get on the flow, like it's not my team. I don't know what they doing with Brandon. If they give Brandon 50 million, Trey, like the only way for me to play Herb got to sit down, or CJ got to sit down. Like it was a completely different situation than what these dudes are in right now, to be honest. So a player like Poole, who's coming in finally with an opportunity to be one of the core pieces. Trey got his opportunity. Herb been playing, but like now is, it's a little different for Herb. Like, okay, all y'all are more mature and more in tune to the game. Y'all been in the league for a while. Y'all in the league for a while. Y'all had some success. Y'all had some failures. You know what I mean? Y'all have been through a couple coaches. It's gonna be like that when Murray come back. I'm interested to see what happened when Murray come back, to be honest, because of the injury, he kind of been out of sight, out of mind. So I'm interested to see. I think they trade him still, but I don't know, because he does seem like, again, I keep shouting on my partner DJ. He keeps saying that he don't think they move Murray until possibly next offseason. And look, if Murray come back and can be 80 to 90% of what he was before, if the team is rolling, I don't insert him into the start lineup, but that's still possibly a really useful and productive player. So you could find a ways to use DeJounte, but I'm just unsure. Like, it's a lot of question marks around what happens with DeJounte, but he's absolutely locked in mentally. But I like, again, all last season, and again, last season was one of the worst seasons. Murray and trade, he doesn't fit in our lineup. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but again, I don't know. We'll see. Right now, I don't even think you can consider it because of the injury. So we're gonna see. But, and this is what I mean by the Pels doing a really good job with their media team, because you didn't get these things before. Now you can kind of hold a team accountable and say stuff like, hey, bro, we know that somebody is bringing up in practice, possibly every day, hey, we got to stay sharp on our execution. We got to stay sharp on, on running our sets right. Because, like, even if you go back and listen to Z, when Z was doing his post practice presser, he was like, man, I just want to make sure we running the sets and we doing what we supposed to make sure we sharp and we doing our part. So like what JP is saying right now is like, dog, listen, we all competitive. We gonna go at it like that's that's kind of part of the game. But it's more than that. Like, the season start in the next couple days. This how you build good habits. You got to do it all the time. When Z say, hey, Poole has done it, that's the last thing they said when they asked him about JP in the interview. He said, man, they was asking him how you feel about playing Jordan. He was like, bro, you just be out there trying shit, right? And like everybody kind of laughed. And he was like, but serious, like, he's a champion. He done it. He takes his game, like, real serious. And they asked Willie about Jordan Poole today. He's like, bro, he's always working. So for whatever it is they think about Poole, is these moments right here that let you know what kind of player that they actually have and what it is that he's trying to get across, and how serious even the little things are. Let me run it one more time.
Whenever we're not going against each other, or it's competitive, 3-0, 5-0, we gotta be smarter, bro. That's what we do. All of our tightening up, our plays, our chemistry.
Chemistry.
That's why when we get,
you gotta tighten it up, bro, all the time.
But whenever it's just zero defense, or we going half against the coaches, that's when we gotta be the sharpest. Like, we gotta turn on to. It's serious now. We got a game here.
Listen, that moment right there is serious now. It's serious now. Like, look, we got a game in X amount of days. Like, you can't be bullshitting. We can't get off to no slow starts. It's time to, okay, we've been doing some good work. It's time to lock in, right? That's what you want to see from not just him. You've seen multiple videos of different vocal leaders doing their part.
It's serious now. We got a game in 10 days, 9 days.
10 days, 9.
Really start sharpening that. So when the season comes, we can hit the ground running.
When the season come, we can hit the ground running. Also, what I like, and I'm about to cut it after a second, but like, if you notice, Willie never overtalks his player, like never steps in when the players are communicating amongst each other. Like, he does his talking throughout practice, which they've shown him do. right? And they've shown the clips of what Willie is doing. So again, like before, you would have questions like, man, what is your message, right? Because I've already done 2 videos about Willie Green, not like when we had players complain about, hey man, he's not drawing up nothing, or he's not helping me get open, right? Like, bro, no, that's your job. You got to do that. At the same time, when they show clips of Willie Green, be like, hey, bro, we coming up against a physical team. They gonna put your hands on, like, be ready now. Don't look at me. I can't save you if you can't put the ball on the floor. Like, that's a you thing. Like, you gotta tighten up. Those are the things you absolutely need to hear, and you need to have them put out. It kind of just give me a little, honestly, it's just giving me a little more hope for Willie Green going into the season, especially when he talked about all of the things that he's learning from Joe Dumars. But to this video specifically, he didn't say nothing, or at least how it looked, he didn't say nothing after Jordan Poole said what he said, right? Like, said his message to the team. All right, y'all, look, boom. Like, leave that as the last thing that these dudes hear, when, like, the last message they receive before you break and go into whatever it is you're gonna do. So, like, I really appreciate that from a coach that's allowing his players to, like, police each other. You know what I mean? Like, because Jordan probably noticed that. I'm Jordan Poole, specifically, like, hey man, look, when we in those 9 competitive workouts, like, we not going hard, and that's not gonna cut it. Like, that's just not gonna cut it. Like, for what it is we trying to do, we got a game in 10 days, 9 days. Like it's time to start sharpening everything. Everything got to be tight. So yeah, man, that's pretty much all I really wanted to. Pool for a ring. He came from a team that got a ring. They better listen. Exactly. And if you listen to Zion when he talk about it, that's pretty much what he's saying. Look, y'all say what y'all want. Poole got a ring. Loon got a ring. And like the last thing too, and I like CJ, right? I like CJ. And CJ's had a great career. Great career. But CJ ain't got no ring. CJ ain't got no all-stars. Like, CJ's been a very good player. He was, like, I don't want to say he was great in his prime, but like he was one of the top guards in the league for sure, no doubt. Right? CJ, even to this day, he's still a really good player. But like, you can't talk about what it was like to win the championship. You can't talk about what kind of habits it took to play on that level, because you didn't get there. Like, so like, yeah, you need to listen to CJ to a degree, but CJ can't tell you about what it takes to win the championship, because he don't know. He don't know what it's like to get to a championship, respectfully. And I'm not trying to shit on CJ. I like CJ, but I'm just saying, like, when people talk about Jordan Poole, like, you got to remember, a lot of that playoff run, Steph Curry was hurt, and that dude had to step in and produce and be one of the top guys on that team, and he did a really good job. And if it's not for the envy amongst other players, which you seen, respectfully, you seen Draymond getting his feelings and cost Golden State a lot. Like, he cost them KD, cost them Jordan Poole. You know what I mean? He didn't put, like, yeah, they didn't win, but that Draymond ego didn't put them in some really bad situations. And, they still trying to figure that out. But man, and I'm very comfortable and confident in the team that we have and what it is that we're going to go out there with and produce. Like, I think they're going to have a really good showing against Houston. That's not to say that they're going to win, because again, you don't know rotations and all that. It's preseason, right? You can't really predict all of that. But with how focused they are, and that Joe Dumars, like, cloud kind of hanging over the team, if you not on your shit, I think we're gonna see a good, more of the team that we saw in the second preseason game, like where the intensity was up and stuff like that. I think they're gonna have some mistakes. Obviously, they playing a good defensive team, and they haven't even played their starting lineup yet. Herb, like you say, Herb hadn't played a minute, so we don't know what Herb gonna look like first time on the floor, and like he hasn't played basketball in a really long time. Like I'm talking about like a game. You remember Herb didn't play that many games last season, so like Herb's got to find like his rhythm and flow and stuff like that. But man, shout out to the Pels, bro. Shout out to the Pels and all of the shout out to the haters too. You need them too. If you got haters in your life, man, thank them. You hear me? You need that. You hear me? That mean people. That mean you doing something right. If people got the opportunity to hate on you, don't nobody hate on you if you ain't doing something positive. You ain't doing something right. So shout out to them. But man, that's gonna do it all for me for the night, man. I appreciate y'all, everybody that stayed up, tapped into the episode. I appreciate you. Be looking out. I think I'm gonna do before I know for sure we're gonna drop another episode where how things look after they finish both preseason games. And kind of get some expectations of what we really look like now that we done seen them and we done kind of seen the other teams in preseason kind of readjust. I still got them for the 49-50 unless something crazy happened. But kind of want to get an idea of what the rest of the West look like. So we'll kind of do that. And I like the idea of those words have meaning episodes. So as they keep putting out more content and more of these interviews, I think they've been saying some really interesting stuff. If you pay attention to what it is that they're saying in these interviews, Poole and Herb, did they interview today? That one was quality too. You listen to Herb talk, they're talking about him working on this game. So we'll probably put those up. You doing the show after the game tomorrow? I don't know. Possibly. I'm gonna be at work. So I might. It just depends. But what I might do, to be honest, is I might live stream through the game, even while I'm at work. Fuck it. You know what I mean? I take it to be cool. So I think I'm gonna live stream like through the game. And just kind of, if y'all want to hop in the chat, you know what I'm saying? Come through, we'll run it and just kind of do that. So post game, I'm not sure, but I think what we're gonna do is like through the games, we probably gonna run it through the game. So be on the lookout for that. And definitely gonna do something after the last game too. I gotta check the schedule and see what we looking like. But after the last game, we'll probably get another show for that, and then we'll have the show for the wrap up before the season start. And then we're gonna figure out how we gonna get ready to celebrate, before we kick off against Memphis. I think I kind of want to do like a special show bringing in the day against them so we can hear how, example, I'm pretty sure you look at like when they do like the pick'ems and all of that, I'm pretty sure like it's gonna start, all of the bashing gonna start early. So we probably gonna do something, you know what I'm saying, to kick off the opener against Memphis. That's gonna be fun. But man, appreciate everybody for tapping in. Pels in the blender, your boy A. Davis. Appreciate y'all. Y'all stay safe, man. Get to wherever y'all gotta go. Love somebody. You know what I mean? It's been a lot of tough times going on in the world right now, bro. Everybody gotta make sure we absolutely gotta. I'm definitely gonna win that game, especially they talking about John might not play. So we gonna see. But man, y'all look out for each other, take care of each other. Everybody be safe. For the Pels in the blender, I'm A. Davis. Peace.